Hey guys, Mark of TheLocalScrubs here, and today I'm bringing you guys a new countdown video. This is going to be the top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh cards that need a reprint. These are going to be a mixture of both my opinion and what I believe the majority of the community's opinions on what cards should receive a reprint. So without further ado, let's get straight into this top 10. At number 10 I have YCS Press card Blood MEFIST. Now this spot is going to go towards mainly just all the recent prize cards. We have recently had Giant Hand and Big Warship reprinted, so I figured it's not in the minds of Konami not to give these Worlds or other prize cards reprints. And the reason I chose Blood MEFIST is because, well, Blood MEFIST is just my favorite. It's one of my top 10 favorite synchros, and I just really want my hands on a Blood MEFIST. I want a cheaper alternative way to pick up one, and I just love the card. That's the only reason I chose it over other prize cards. At number 9, I got Into the Void. Now, Into the Void is a card that was used in Towers Turbo before Towers got banned. Now, the cards only had one printing in the Shining Darkness, I believe is the set name, and it just needs a reprint. I could see this card getting reprinted in an OTS pack. Right now, I believe the card's sitting at an average of about $20. So, like, I honestly don't think cards should be that expensive. So, having a reprint of Into the Void wouldn't really be a bad idea, in my opinion. It gives access to people that like to play decks like Exodia and stuff that use Into the Void. Gives them a cheaper way to get the card. So, I mean, I'm all up for a Into the Void reprint. Coming in at number 8, I have two cards actually. The first one's going to be PSY-FRAMELORD Omega. Omega is a card that is seen as a staple in synchro decks. It's a good level 8 to go into. It's a very good card. It's honestly right now it's around $30 for one. And for budget decks like PSY-Frames and Shiranua, that card's a staple, an automatic staple. You need at least two for PSY-Frames, and you need one for Shiranua. And people that want to play these decks that are on a budget and need this card to play probably aren't going to want to spend $30 for at least one copy. The next card is the Phantom Knights of Breaksword. This is the most recent Xyz to be printed in Wing Raiders. Now, I myself was going to build Phantom Knights because I love Yuto in the anime, my favorite character in the show. And to see this card because of Burning Abyss Phantom Knights shoot up to about almost $50. It's crazy. I wanted to play pure Phantom Knights, and having to spend about $150 for 3 copies, which is mandatory in Phantom Knights, is crazy. And I honestly don't think this card should be that high. It's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't be a $50 card. Now, the reason these guys are so low on the list is because they're relatively new. I don't see them being reprinted soon. I honestly don't know what they could be reprinted in, but hopefully Konami gives these side sets some love and give us a way to reprint those. Maybe they'll be in the Dragons of Legend, I don't know. It's up to Konami. They're on a recent crusade against the secondary market, so who knows. But number 8, PSY-FRAMELORD Omega and the Phantom Knights of Breaksword. At number 7, I have OLIPHORT Monolith. Now, this is a card that a lot of people, including myself, thought would be in the 2015 Mega Packs. Pretty much every other Holo OLIPHORT card was in there, except for Monolith. And right now, Monolith, while OLIPHORTs have fallen down to the wayside, they're still a good deck. But if you want to pick this up for a budget deck, OLIPHORTs, they're still a good option. But Monolith is going to cost you about $30 for at least 2 copies, which isn't as bad as what it used to be when OLIPHORTs were meta, but still, it's a pretty expensive card. This card definitely should have been in the Mega Tins. I don't know what they could reprint it in right now. Probably the OTS packs, all I can really see it being in. Maybe as a super or something. But Monolith needed a reprint. It should have been in the Mega Tins. I don't know why it was, but number 7, OLIPHORT Monolith. So for number 6, I have Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now, this is one of the most coolest, most iconic monsters in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's definitely up there when you say Yu-Gi-Oh! It's one of the cards a lot of people think of, and for good reasons. Now, Kaiba hasn't had a lot of love. Mostly, like, definitely fallen down from Yugi. I mean, heck, even Joey got a legendary collection before Kaiba. And just having one of Kaiba's most iconic monsters not being reprinted for collectors is crazy. I mean, I believe it's had like 1 or 2 reprints, but still, it's a pretty expensive card. And just for collector's sake. And with the new Blue Eyes stuff coming out in Shining Victories, this would be a great time to have a Blue Eyes Ultimate reprint. So Konami, just give us a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon reprint just for collectors. So yeah, number 6. So at number 5 we have RAIGEKI. Now RAIGEKI has fallen out from the staple category. I mean, it's still a good card. A lot of people see it as a staple, but it's like the same realm as MST. It's either a staple or it's not. But it has had a couple of reprints in the past couple of years, but it's still an expensive card. I believe $15, $20. And for a card that should be a staple, to not be easily accessible is pretty stupid in my opinion. I feel like a RAIGEKI reprint, it should be like a lower rarity, maybe like a rare. I know it was a rare in a battle pack, but if they do another battle pack or something, give us another RAIGEKI. Make it so where it's easily accessible for new players to get a hold of. So yeah, number 5 RAIGEKI there. I mean, there's not much I could really say about it. Just a more easily accessible RAIGEKI reprint. So for number 4, I got Magic Planter. Now, Magic Planter was reprinted in Legendary Collection 5D. It's an ultra rare. Right now, Magic Planter is sitting around $10-ish. Something along the lines like that. Not as expensive as some of the previous cards on the list, but it's still an expensive card for such niche decks. I don't know if I said that right. Niche. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but anyway, like only a couple decks can run this card, and for good reason. It's a really good draw support card, and just having so little decks that can run it, it's a lot like Into the Void. Having so little decks that can run it, just having to pay about $10, $15 just for one copy is a bit ridiculous. So giving us a Magic Planter reprint, maybe in an OTS pack as a common or something, could be a good idea that Konami could think of. So number 4, we got Magic Planter. So for the 3rd spot, we have Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Now this is my favorite of the Arc 5 dragons, and a lot like Omega, it is a Synchro deck staple. It is an amazing level 7 card that a lot of people should be running, and at the $20 price range, about right now, average is about $20, it's going to be a lot hard for people to pick this up, much like Omega. So you could say these cards are like similar in a way, but the reason it's at number 3 is because it should have had a reprint by now. It's more than likely going to be in the 2016 Mega Packs, because Cross Souls is in the set list for the Mega Packs. So yeah, we desperately need a Clearwing Synchro Dragon reprint. So that's my number 3 pick. So for number 2, this is going to seem a bit odd, but number 2 I have Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card was recently reprinted in OTS pack number 1. Now, a lot of stores don't get OTS packs, so for players that wanted to pick up Anti-Spell Fragrance, looking forward to this reprint, it's going to be a bit harder to get the reprint. The card is still a $20 card. Before the reprint, it was a $20 card. It's still a $20 card. It's a card that, in my opinion, is a needed card right now in this format. With Pendulum decks running as rampant as they are, Pedra, for example, is the best one right now. Anti-Spell Fragrance is a card you're going to need to be successful in competitive play. And if you don't have the Anti-Spell Fragrances, you're going to have a bad time. So that boils down to it right there. The card is a more accessible reprint for players that want to get into the competitive scene that don't have them just yet. So having a much cheaper way to pick them up, in my opinion, is needed. So number 2, Anti-Spell Fragrance. So we finally reached the number 1 spot on this countdown, and it belongs to the bane of collectors' wallets, that being the Eye of TIMAEUS. Now, hopefully, TIMAEUS, Heremos, and Critias will be in the new Dragons of Legend that is going to be out later this year, as it looks to be both a new and reprint set. So hopefully, cross your fingers, it's going to be in there. But this card right now is sitting at $50. Why is it $50? It's crazy. Like, with the new Dark Magician stuff coming out in the Dark Illusion, that looks to be, like Blue Eyes, looks to be a potential legacy deck that's going to be a good top tier deck. Maybe not tier 1 per se, but I mean, it looks like to be a competitive deck. So having Optimized right now at $50, along with these new Dark Magician cards coming out, if this card stays at $50, it's just without a reprint, it's just going to keep going up in price, and that's crazy on people who just want this card as a collector's card. So, Konami, you're taking a more recent crusade against the secondary market, so hopefully you notice that TIMAEUS is a $50 card and do something about it. So yeah, number 1, the Eye of TIMAEUS. So guys, that's going to be about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely a lot of fun to make. It's my first top 10 video for the channel, and hopefully I improve on these. You know, hopefully they turn out a little bit better than this one, but since this was my first try. But let us know down in the comment section what you think deserves a reprint that I missed. There's definitely a lot more cards out there that could get a reprint possibly, that definitely need them. So again, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on what cards need a reprint. Be sure to like the video if you did like it, and subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. So that's going to wrap it up. I am Mark of TheLocalScrubs, and I will catch you guys in the next video.